Hello everyone, wishing you all good health and peace in life. Some questions are so innocent, yet they carry the weight of an entire heart. On a quiet evening, with the sound of rain whispering outside, Maya suddenly looked up with wide, searching eyes. "Is Uncle D your father?" Her words made Huyen's heart stop. In that moment, time seemed to pause. A child's curiosity revealed her deepest longing for a family whole, for a love that stayed. For Huyen, the question cut deeper than she could show, stirring both hope and fear. Could the man who had silently sacrificed so much truly become the father figure Maya yearned for? And could she, after so many storms, dare to believe in love again? Huyen's hometown had just endured a devastating storm. For days, she and Maya sought shelter at Uncle D's house. Thankfully, they were safe, but D's house, too, could not escape the fury of the wind. Sheets of roofing had been torn away, and the home stood wounded under the gray sky. This morning, Huyen and Dee set out together to buy new metal sheets. Maya skipped happily along, her laughter softening the weight of loss. Though her hometown had suffered fields destroyed, roofs blown off, Huyen admired the resilience of her people. They were determined to rise again. Back home, as thunder rumbled in the distance, Dee climbed the roof to mend the damage while Huyen steadied the sheets. Maya's voice echoed with childish worry. "Uncle D, be careful not to fall." Dee only smiled and reassured her. Piece by piece, they fixed the roof until finally, he called down proudly, "It's finished. Even if it rains again, we'll be safe." The storm had left scars not only on homes but also on hearts. Yet in its aftermath, Huyen and Dee found new closeness, their quiet teamwork stitching hope into the day. When the rain eased, Huyen decided to return to the market. "I need to earn money for Maya's school," she told Dee. Together, they carried baskets into the hills, picking pears and ferns washed fresh by the storm. Mosquitoes bit at their skin, but laughter kept them company. At her great-grandmother's house, Maya stayed behind, teaching the old woman letters from her book. The grandmother's hands trembled, but her smile was bright as she whispered, "All my life, no one has taught me before. Today, Maya is my teacher." Meanwhile, Huyen and Dee filled their baskets. "If we sell everything today," Huyen said, "I'll save enough to buy Maya a new outfit for school." Dee nodded silently, carrying the heavier load. They stopped by a stream, washing their hands in cool mountain water, sharing a simple meal before heading to the busy riverside market. Vegetables for sale, sweet pears for sale, they called. Slowly, customers came. Some bought only a little, some gave them warm smiles and a few kind words. By evening, most of the produce was gone. Tired yet joyful, they used their earnings to buy medicine for Grandma and cakes for Maya. When they returned home, Maya came running, her laughter ringing brighter than any storm. Dee, Huyen, and Maya sat together in the small house with its newly repaired roof, eating simple food, feeling safe once again. The storm had tested them, but instead of breaking them, it brought them closer, teaching them that love, resilience, and togetherness were stronger than the fiercest winds. The storm had passed, leaving behind blue skies and the smell of damp earth. The repaired roof glistened under the sun, and the yard was filled with laughter as Maya played with Babi, the faithful dog. Huyen sat on the wooden porch, mending a torn shirt, while Dee chopped firewood nearby. The air felt peaceful, almost like life had returned to normal after days of fear and hardship. Suddenly, Maya stopped her play and turned toward Huyen. With her innocent eyes wide and curious, she asked softly but clearly, "Mom, is Uncle D my father?" The needle in Huyen's hand froze. Her heart skipped a beat. The question pierced deeper than the roar of the storm. She looked at Maya's round, expectant face, then glanced at Dee. He, too, had paused mid-swing, the axe hanging in his hand. For a moment, silence stretched between them. Only the sound of cicadas filled the air. Huyen swallowed hard. She wanted to answer, but her lips trembled. Memories of the past, of pain, of betrayal, of the man who once abandoned her flooded back. Yet here was Dee, silent but steadfast, who had stood by them, repaired their roof, carried heavy loads, and shielded them from the storm. Huyen knelt down, taking Maya's small hands into her own. She smiled gently, though her eyes glistened. "Maya, Uncle D is not your father," she said softly, "but he has taken care of us like family. Sometimes love doesn't need to come from blood. It comes from kindness and from the heart." Maya tilted her head, thoughtful. She then turned to Dee, who had set the axe aside and walked closer. He crouched down, his warm smile calming the moment. "Maya," he said, brushing a strand of hair from her face, "I may not be your father, but I promise to protect you and your mother. As long as I'm here, you'll never be alone." The child's eyes sparkled. She threw her arms around Dee's neck and whispered, "Then I want Uncle to stay with us forever." Huyen's heart trembled. Tears slipped silently down her cheeks, not of sorrow, but of gratitude and hope. For the first time in a long time, she felt the possibility of a new beginning. The sun dipped lower, painting the yard in golden light, and though the future was still uncertain, one truth was clear in Huyen's heart. Family is not only about who you're born to, it's also about who chooses to stay. That evening, after dinner, the house was quiet. The repaired roof kept out the rain, and only the sound of crickets filled the night air. Maya had already fallen asleep, curled up peacefully with Babi beside her. Huyen sat by the oil lamp, gently folding clothes. Yet her mind was far away. The words of her daughter still echoed. "Is Uncle D my father?" Her heart ached with both fear and hope. She remembered the pain of the past, the loneliness of raising Maya alone, the nights she cried in silence, the weight of carrying everything on her shoulders. But she also remembered the days with Dee, his steady hands fixing the roof, his patient smile, his quiet sacrifices that asked for nothing in return. Huyen touched her chest, feeling a warmth she had not allowed herself to feel in years. Could it be possible? Could life truly give me a second chance? Outside, Dee was still awake. He sat on the porch, smoking quietly, gazing at the dark mountains. The moonlight reflected on his tired face. He had heard every word of Maya's innocent question. Deep inside, he longed to say yes, that he wanted nothing more than to be a father to Maya and a companion to Huyen. But he also knew Huyen's wounds ran deep, and rushing her would only cause pain. When Huyen finally stepped outside, she saw him sitting there, silent against the night. For a moment, she hesitated, then softly said, "Dee, thank you for everything. Without you, Maya and I would not have come this far." He looked at her, his eyes gentle. "You don't need to thank me, Huyen. As long as you and Maya are safe, I am happy. That's all that matters." Her heart tightened. She wanted to speak more, to tell him how much his presence meant, but the words stayed locked inside. Instead, she sat beside him. They both stared at the moon in silence, a silence heavy yet comforting, as though the night itself understood their hearts. After a long pause, Dee spoke quietly. "Huyen, life is full of storms, but after every storm, the sky clears. I don't know what the future holds, but if you allow me, I want to be the person who helps you and Maya through every storm to come." Tears welled in Huyen's eyes. She turned her face away, afraid he might see. But deep inside, her heart whispered, maybe this is the beginning of something new. And as the night wrapped around them, the house no longer felt small or broken. It felt like home. In life, storms do not only come from the sky, they also come from within the heart. They arrive without warning, leaving us broken, uncertain, and afraid of starting again. But just as roofs can be repaired and crops can regrow, the human heart, too, has the power to heal and to rediscover love. Maya's innocent question, "Is Uncle D your father?" carries a wisdom far beyond her years. It reminds us that family is not defined only by blood, but by care, protection, and presence. A father is not simply the one who gives life, but the one who chooses to stay, who shields a child from storms, and who plants seeds of love in the soil of everyday life. Huyen, though burdened by the past, learned that her wounds did not close the door to happiness. Dee's quiet sacrifice is his strong hands fixing the roof. His willingness to walk beside her without asking for anything in return became proof that love can be rebuilt with patience and kindness. The lesson is clear. True love does not shout, it whispers. It does not demand, it offers. And sometimes, it is the smallest voices like that of a child that remind us of the greatest truths. Storms will always come, but they also pass. What remains afterward is not the destruction, but the strength of those who chose to hold on to one another. In the end, love is not about who we were given, it is about who stays and helps us rise again.